Hello and welcome to Claret and Booze. My name's Nick, and we all just watched West Ham draw at home to Aston Villa, 1-1. Look, on the face of it, it was a really good performance. It was. I thought the lineup was great. I thought the lineup was okay. The only thing I would have done, even though Souček played okay, I would have probably put slotted Fornals in there instead of Souček. Not that Souček really did much wrong, like I said, but on the whole, I thought the I thought the formation was fine. Great to see Areola in goal. Good to see Zuma and Aguirre back. This is a team sheet I'm talking about. Kehrer at right back, I thought fine. Makes me a bit nervous, but and so we should feel nervous when he's at right back and all. I thought that was okay. Emerson left back, he played well. And then you had Declan Rice, Souček, and Paqueta in the middle. We had Bowen on the right hand side, Benny on the left. And we had Danny Ings down the middle. Now, for the first half, I thought we had a lot of intensity about our play. We did, we had plenty of chances. I think we suffer a lot from the fact that especially today, we played our wingers like conventional wingers. I mean, Bowen and Benny were fantastic today, but they're playing on their weak sides. And I've said this so many times. For instance, when Bowen whips that ball over with his weaker foot, it was still a good cross. And Ben Rama arrives on the volley with his left foot. He's got more of a chance of getting out on target and scoring if he arrives on his stronger foot. I don't understand it. So if you're playing with conventional wingers, switch them. I know there was a couple of occasions where they chopped inside and shot, but on the whole, I just think every now and then throughout the game, just give them a bit more of a chance, because if Benny arrives on that or if Bowen arrives on the left hand side from that cross, he's going to bury that with his left foot. That would have put us 1-0 up, but we didn't do that. So there's still things that David Moyes does, which more questions and answers from me. We had plenty of opportunities to score in the first half, but then Aston Villa grabbed it. Absolute dog shit defending from Aguirre. The marking was terrible. Watkins found himself unmarked completely, and Ollie Watkins, headed the ball down up into the roof of the net. Nothing Areola could have done. It was a good header, but poor marking again. It was poor. And Kehrer at right back. Oh, Jesus! I mean, I like Kehrer as a player, but I like him, but I don't. If that makes sense, he's terrifying. He's too impulsive, and he's not positionally aware. How many times did he just kind of get drawn out so easily, and he leaves massive space in behind him? So even playing him at right back is a bit of a risk, but I don't know that we had that many other options. I'm not sure if Johnson was on the bench, was he? I don't know. But in the first half, after they scored, let's not forget Ollie Watkins could have had a hat-trick, could and should have probably had a hat-trick. They should have scored. So after Watkins scored that third goal, they then were in the ascendancy, and then from that point on, Watkins had at least two more good chances to score. Buendia had a good chance as well. But we were in the game. We fought, we showed some fight. I particularly enjoyed the mass brawl as well, which obviously came after the penalty, which I thought that Paqueta won beautifully, to be quite honest. I think he bought it. Obviously, the ball gets whipped in. Emi Martinez, that cocky little fucker who I can't stand. I hate that goalkeeper. He flaps at the cross. Paqueta has an effort. It gets headed off the line, and it lands back at Paqueta's feet with his back to goal. And he kind of stops in front of Buendia, who's running at him. He encourages a tangle of legs, buys a penalty. Good penalty. Saeed Benrahma steps up against Emi Martinez, who we know has got he's got form for saving penalties. We saw it in the World Cup, right? No fucking messing around from Benny with that one. He smashed it into the roof of the net. It was a fantastic penalty, really, really good. So that was that. That was 1-1 all game long. We're trying these diagonal balls over the top, not really executing them very well because Villa were playing a very high line, and Bowen had the beating of his fullback. Benny had the beating of his fullback. The only one who I was a little bit confused about was Danny Ings, really. I thought Danny Ings didn't really offer much. I thought some of his runs were lazy. He got caught offside a few times when he shouldn't have, not through a delayed pass, but through him going too soon or not looking at the line. I didn't think much of his movement either. I mean, there was one instance in the second half where Ben Rama's broke through on goal, but Ings has made the wrong run, I think. And yeah, Benny didn't execute it, but it didn't make any sense what Danny Ings did there. So I didn't think it was a great performance from Danny Ings. The wide players, Benny, I know people are having a go at Benny now, missed opportunities and stuff like that, but Benny was a live wire. Bowen was fantastic. The pair of them in wide areas were brilliant. I still can't work out why Scamacca didn't get introduced. He was warming up. He was on the sidelines. He was showing an interest in the game. So he weren't sulking. I can't work out why there was still no sniff of Scamacca. I think that Scamacca would have been better at holding the ball up in that area. You know, if you play him as a maybe a deeper forward, especially with the type of balls that we was playing through. Fair enough. Maybe he's not going to be the man to run through in behind. Maybe that's why we didn't use him, because that was kind of what we was doing. We was angling balls in all the time, and the execution for a lot of those were pretty shit, to be honest. Maxwell Cornet did eventually come on, and he looked all right. He looked sharp. He went through on goal on one occasion almost straight away. I bunged a fiver on him. It's the only bet that I've done today. I thought he's come on. I fancy him to score, so I threw a fiver on him. He's gone straight through in on goal. And he's done some sort of weird step over before he struck the ball, and it didn't matter anyway. But Emi Martinez saved it. But he, sorry about that. Emi Martinez saved it, but as it turned out, he was offside anyway. He was offside again a little bit later on. But again, I could kind of understand why they brought Cornet on, because of the way that we was attacking. It was quite direct, counter-attacking, and it was an end-to-end game. It was an end-to-end game. It was, for the neutral, that was a good game to watch. I wish I could have made it to the game. I had a ticket for today, but my son's team played earlier on. We didn't finish till gone midday. I've come back, got changed, got stuck in traffic trying to get there. Got sort of 2/3 of the way through the first half, and I've turned around and come home. And I've obviously watched it on a stream on my phone in the car. But second half, I was in the comfort of me front room. And by the way, we won today, right? So my losing streak's over. We won 8-2. All right, so I'm back in the. That was my last chance saloon game, as you all called it, and we won. We won. We was fantastic. So yeah. But talking about this game here, it was good to see fight. It was good to see an end-to-end game. It was good to see something different. We were pressing. We were pressing in midfield. We were fighting in midfield. We were putting challenges in, dirty challenges as well. Paqueta I particularly enjoyed. He was snapping. He probably should have had a yellow card before he got the actual yellow card. I thought he was good. I enjoyed Declan Rice rearing up at Buendia and in that little mass brawl in the penalty area, showing a bit of fight. I did enjoy that. Something that's been missing. You know, the whole team were there as well, which is good to see. Which is good to see. But yeah, look, we needed the 3 points. David Moyes needed the 3 points. We needed the 3 points. Well, no. I'll scratch that. David Moyes needed 1 point. So David Moyes got what he needed. I'm not saying that he played for the point, because he didn't, because we were still going for the game. So I'm not going to be that spiteful. But that point is enough to keep David Moyes in his job and to keep us in purgatory for yet another couple of weeks. So it's not enough for us. We're still only 2 points off bottom. Southampton had an opportunity today against Man United, who had Casemiro sent off on the 30th minute. And they couldn't do it. So that was lucky. They're never going to get a better chance of beating Man United. I'm sure it finished 0-0, that game. But yeah, that was lucky, because that would have put them above us, I think, or level on points, I think. But nonetheless, we needed to win that game. We needed to win it. I'm not saying that Aston Villa were there for the taking, because they're a good team. I said that yesterday. And we kind of matched them, but we had chances. They had chances. We defended quite poorly. I think they looked more threatening. The majority of the time, we had spells in wide areas. You know, like I say, Bowen and Benny were really getting a lot of joy out of their wide attacking players. But like I say, Kera at right back and Aguirre, I'm not happy with. I'm not happy with Aguirre. Considering when he came in, he looked absolutely fantastic. His positional awareness isn't great, from balls into the box and stuff like that. It seems like he doesn't really know where he's supposed to be. He's not the best in the air either. He's a great passer of the ball. He's quick, so he's good. to deal with those balls in behind, getting back and recovering. But no, I don't know. I just feel like this is another one of those games whereby, I don't know, it's enough for David Moyes again. It is. And I'm happy we got the point. I'm happy we didn't get beat. But it's context. Any other time, any other season, if we're mid-table or we're top 6, you'd take that. You'd have gone to that game and you'd have come back feeling good because you'd have been thinking, I've just watched a good game. It was decent. We was unlucky. On another day, we could have got a win. But we've had too many days like this now. We've had too many days, and you can't. We haven't had too many days where we can say we've watched a good game, but we did watch a good game today. That wasn't a bad game. It weren't a bad game to watch. The players were up for it. There was a bit of fight on the pitch. It was quite tetchy. I did quite enjoy the match, albeit as a West Ham fan that's desperate for the 3 points. I did feel like we was going to win as well. Even towards the last 10 minutes, I felt like it was going to be our day. I did. It's like I say, when they brought Cornet on, I bunged a fiver on him. 22-1. I thought that's a good bet. But as it turned out, not so much. Daniel De Costa's just said a point because of a soft pen. We can't score from open play to win games. It's not good enough. No. Well, not really. We can't, can we? We can't. And it was a soft penalty. It was. If that had been given against us, I'd have been quite angry. But Paqueta did do well. Like I say, he had the initial chance. It bounced back out to him, and he's kind of got in between the ball and Buendia with his back to Buendia. Buendia's coming through him, and Paqueta's just stopped. So he's invited the contact, and Buendia was a bit naive. So there was contact, but he went down, and yeah, it was bought. But those are the rules, I suppose. And look, I'm not going to cry about that too much. I think we deserved the goal. I do think we deserved it. I think we created enough. But as you say, scoring from open play is a massive problem from us. We don't have that cutting edge. We don't seem to have it because Aston Villa were there to be got at today. There were so many chances from deep where they play that high line. And when you consider we've got Ben Rama, we've got Bowen, you've got Danny Ings in there. There's so many chances to chip the ball over into just the right pass is all you need. It ain't even got to be a worldy pass. It's just a ball into a danger area for the forward players to run onto. And our execution was shit, for the most part of that final ball. And then when we did get through on goal, we do the step over bit well and the touch. I mean, look, Benny had a great moment, didn't he? Where the ball's come over, his first touch with the outside of his right boot, and he's cut across the 18-yard box, outside the 18-yard box, and struck it, and Martinez tipped it over. I thought that was brilliant. I know Benny can be frustrating for many. He can be frustrating for me, but in that game today, he was a bit of a shining light for us. So yeah, I think it was. Danny Moore said, "What were your thoughts on Scamacca not getting a run out?" It's getting boring now, isn't it? There's always. This is what I'm saying, Shell. Whenever there's a game, there's always something. So David Moyes has clearly got another problem with another player. What was Ben Rama is now Scamacca. He's his new figure of hate by the look of it. And it didn't make any sense because Danny Ings was pretty pointless today, I thought. He was useless. I think Scamacca would have been far better as a foil to use for those wide players, especially because they're inverted, especially because they're encouraged to come inside. So I don't know why. But yeah, so let's go through a few of the comments anyway. I will start from, where are we? So Daniel De Costa, I've done this one. A point because of a soft pen. We can't score from open play. No, we can't. Gary Page, going to sell my seat every game now until that wonderful man is gone. Yeah, mate, I know. It's look, but to be fair, that wasn't that weren't a bad game to watch. Like I said to you, I'm all about watching football. I want to go and watch a game. That's what that's what I want to see. And I think that was at least a game today. But the trouble is, in context with what we needed 3 points. It weren't enough. And he still had. He could have rolled a bit more of a positive dice than what he did. He could have pulled Scamacca on. He could have really gone for it, but he didn't. The players on the pitch did. They were pressing all over the place. Was that down to Moyes' design, or has there been an on-field mutiny? I don't know. There was rumours of that happening. There was that's what a lot of people say happened against Nottingham Forest. So was that part of the plan for us to press all over the pitch? Because we were we were pressing high quite often. We were deep in Villa's half with 5 or 6 bodies, which is what you need. You need to attack in numbers. But yeah, I don't know. Toby Adams has said, I agree, that's the game that doomed us. Well, look, if we ultimately get relegated, this isn't the game that doomed us. You can go back before that. You can say Leeds, you can say Everton, you can say Forest, because he should have gone way before this. You know, he's been here too long already. You know, so I don't think this is the game that doomed us at all. If we go down, then that game was ages ago. I said on a show that I did last night, a lot of people didn't like it, but if you could go back and change the result of the Everton game, would you do it? You know, El Sacchio, would you change that? Would you give the win to Everton and we sack our manager, they keep Lampard, we get Dyche until the end of the season? Would you rather have done that? Most people probably would, in retrospect. Fans didn't show enough anger when we went a goal down. No, they don't. I mean, there's a part of me that's really pissed off with that, and there's a part of me that is glad that they didn't, because I think that David Sullivan, with the news that broke last week with Jim White, where Sullivan's come out rubbing salt in our wounds, saying that Moyes is going to be here anyway, whatever happens, even if we get relegated, he ain't going nowhere. He's trying to rub salt in our wounds to trigger us off, to piss us off, maybe to even create another Burnley, so that when we do, and there is a massive reaction, this huge fuck up of a season can all be labelled on the fans when we eventually do lose the plot, which will happen eventually. But as always, when a team comes out and they work hard and they try, the West Ham crowd will get behind them, and I think they did get behind them today for the most part. Whether or not the broadcast that I was watching was cutting out a lot of the noise, I don't know, but it didn't seem like there was any booing or anything like that. And to be honest, when the team are playing well, when the blokes on the pitch are playing well, you don't boo. You don't. Not at that point. You don't. That's a bit of a muggy thing to do. So because essentially that looks like you're directing it at the player. So when the players on the pitch are giving their all and they're trying their best, and you don't do that. Paul Saw, never seen so many professional players that can't strike a ball properly. Then the best striker of a ball by a mile was left on the bench. Mate, I know. Why is it that we are always left with so many questions after a game? Can he never not just do something conventional? Can he not, just every now and then, just pick the team and just do the obvious thing, because it's obvious to the rest of us. Scamacca is clearly fit now. He's probably lacking confidence. He's probably lacking the will to live. Give him something to be excited about. I don't know whether you all noticed Lucas Paqueta when he... to be honest, I don't think it was a bad thing taking Paqueta off. He'd been yellow carded. There was a mass brawl. It was boiling over. Paqueta's fiery. He's going to get involved in more. So I think taking him off for Fornals, who then went on and got a few chances that he maybe should have done a little bit better with. I don't think it was a bad thing, but Paqueta's reaction was shit. He walked straight down the tunnel, straight past Fornals, and I can only assume that somebody had a little word in his ear down the tunnel, because he came back out again with a sulky face and went and sat on the bench. But he was not happy. He just stormed straight down the tunnel. So again, look, we're clearly not in a situation where we know it's not a happy camp. But we said the other day, when players have got the ump and when they've down tools, it doesn't mean they're not going to come out and play for the shirt and play for the fans. Of course they will. We know David Moyes has lost the plot. But that weren't a bad performance today. It just wasn't good enough, we can't score. I mean, God knows, I haven't looked at the stats. I don't know what the stats were, but we had a lot of chances in dangerous areas today. And like I say, we should have had more, because our supply was pretty poor. The supply was poor. There was multiple opportunities where we had balls, where we had the ball on transition, where we win the ball back, and Villa are vulnerable. And all we've got to do is hit the right space with the right pass, and we're in. So many times we just didn't do it. We didn't do it at all, and it's massively frustrating. Brook Bond, still look on the bright side. Man City away next. We'll get murdered. It's not, because that game's been moved because of the Carabao Cup. So our next game in the Premier League is at home to Southampton. So yeah, we're being spared, Haaland, for now. Black Country Hammer, no more games till April 2nd in the league. I'm still... I'm Moyes out till I die. I am, as you can see by the banner. It's not happening. Even if David Moyes can get his shit together and we go on a good run until the end of the season, nothing will eradicate the misery that he's put me through in the last 13 or 14 months. I still want him to fuck off regardless. Nothing is going to change. We could go on and look brilliant for the last few games. I want him gone. You know, he's not going to get a pat on the back from me for saving us from his own mess. He gets paid for that. The only reason we are where we are is because of David Moyes, not because of anyone else. So if he does what we all need him to do, I'll be relieved, but he ain't getting no credit from me. Mark Anderson, get him out, and he can take Souček with him. Yeah, look, I don't think Souček was too bad today. You know, he's not my favourite player, but when he's on the pitch and he's doing all right, I'll give him credit. I don't think he played badly. Irons, 1 point doesn't help us. It helps Moyes. It gets us out of the relegation zone. And this is what I mentioned this as well last night. I think it's a mentality thing from Sullivan. If we were in the relegation zone, just 1 point worse off, and we had an extended period in there, even if it was kind of, you know, similar points, but just being in the bottom three, I think mentally that probably would push Sullivan to pull the trigger. But I think while we're outside it, all we've done is dipped into the relegation zone 4 times this season, and every single time we've been straight back out again. I think that's kind of what's been keeping Moyes afloat. If we'd have had any extended run in that bottom three, he'd have been gone. I'm sure of it. Axel 06. Final third was disappointing. Yes, there were moments, but finishing and set-up play let us down. Yeah, it did. There's a lack of quality when it matters. There really is, and it's frustrating. But the actual match, the game, like I say, if you was watching that game as a neutral, it was good. It was good. It was full of energy, full of tackles. It was wholehearted. You know, it was quick as well, fast-paced, end-to-end. Rice got lucky getting caught with the ball so many times. Yeah, I noticed that today, mate. I did notice that today. There was a few occasions where a couple of sort of last-ditch recovery tackles spared his blushes. He did get caught a fair bit. And I don't know why, because he had good support today. I thought Paqueta was playing all right, and I thought that I thought Souček was as well. Alex Chapman, we needed 3 points today. I can't say I give 2 hoots about relegation. Sullivan clearly doesn't, so why should I? Daniela Stewart, if we can't score, that's down to the players, not the manager. The reason we're in the position we're in, Daniela, I know you're staunch Moyes in, which is fine. That's your choice. The reason that we are where we are and we're in this situation, make no bones about it, that's down to the manager. It is. He set us up a bit better today. We was more advanced and we was further up the pitch. That's how we should be playing all the time. We should be creating that many chances every game that we play, but we don't. He sets us up to sit behind the ball and just hold our shape, and that's a managerial decision to do that. Today he didn't. He had to go after it. This was clearly one of the games that David Moyes had down on his little whiteboard, because this is what he will have done. He will have done a relegation escape plan. He would have looked at the available fixtures and he'd have gone, we're not going to win that one, not going to win that one. Tick, got to win that one, got to win that one. Brighton was clearly, we don't need that. We're not going to win that anyway. As you could see by the performance that we put in. Today's was different. That wasn't just because it was a last chance saloon game. I think he looked at today as a game that we had to win at home, because typically it's a game, if you look at trends, it's a game that we do win at home against Villa. So, he went for it today, but we should be setting up like that in every game. We're capable of creating chances. We did today, even though the final ball wasn't always there, even though the finish wasn't always there. You just got to keep doing the same thing. You know, if you've got to create 10 chances to score a goal, then create 10 fucking chances. It's very simple. You know, just keep on plucking away doing the same thing. Because we haven't got anyone uber clinical. Well, I suppose we have in Danny Ings, but he looked rubbish today. He looked rubbish. Right. Vicky and Phil, after 82 minutes, not one striker on the pitch, but 3 on the bench, I'll give up. Yeah, no. Look, I think he brought Cornet on because we was playing deep and he wanted him to get beyond him. I've just had my dog dumped in my room, so if he starts barking, I'm going to have to end the stream. I hope he's going to be a good boy. Alex Chapman, Rice is severely overrated. Where is the leadership when we were in the poo? He is far too immature. He is too immature, I agree with you. Dougie Montana. Hello, mate. Moyes, the absolute bottler, playing for the draw. Yeah. It didn't feel like we was playing for the draw today. I think he could have done way more. Don't get me wrong. He could have. He will never throw the kitchen sink at a game. He ain't got it in him. That was throwing the kitchen sink at a game for David Moyes today, because he didn't shit himself and hold on for, make defensive subs and hold on. Even though he took Danny Ings off, I think Cornet for Danny Ings was a positive substitution because Danny Ings was shit. I think Cornet gave us more. I mean, look, he got 2 chances the minute he came on, so I don't think that was probably quite attacking for me. Right, Ollie, we've got if Benrahma hadn't started, I don't think any other player scores that penalty. Didn't he bury it? Wasn't it a good penalty? It really was. May as well play Ollie Scholes instead of Kehrer. Yeah, I think he's injured. But look, I do get that. I'd like to see more of Scholes, but listen, this is David Moyes, mate. We're not going to be seeing youth players. We're not going to. Hello, Amanda. What about Paqueta stooping off down the tunnel? What do we make of that? I thought it was bad because I think I can see why he was taken off. So I don't think it showed a good attitude from him, although he did come back out again straight away. It was just his reaction. It was getting heated, that game, Well, I think my dog's about to lose it. It was getting heated, that game. It really was. So I think it was looking like a red card was going to be coming from someone, and we know that he's a bit fiery. But I must admit, from him, I didn't overly like him doing that. As soon as Fornals comes on, you just know it's respect the point. It's outrageous. Yeah, but Fornals was playing in a more advanced position. Don't forget, literally his first touch, he was put through on goal. And if he controls that ball better, he's through on goal. And he got another opportunity as well, didn't he? Where Bowen sort of chopped the ball back to him and it was behind him. But yeah, I think Fornals playing in an advanced position, I don't think it is necessarily... Look, I'm not defending Moyes. Like I said before, you can see by the banner, I'm Moyes out. But I will call it as I see it. Today, we could have done an awful lot more, but we did more in this game than we have done in previous games. We created a lot. So, if we play like that in every game until the end of the season, so I'll say this: if we play like that against every team that we play towards the end of the season, we will get enough points to survive. But the issue is, that we're not going to. Because that was one of the games. That was a game that David Moyes wanted to win, that he thought he could win, so he went out there and he tried to win it. But the trouble is, David Moyes, we know he profiles teams. He plays the name. He doesn't necessarily play the team. If you're going up against Chelsea, you can't go for it, even if they are out of form and every other fucker's beating them. You can't go for it because that's Chelsea. So we'll play defensively. So he writes games off. But if he was to play like that, that's what I mean. You proved that you can set a team up. Villa are a good team. We matched them. I wouldn't say we played them off the park. I think it was a 50-50 game. They could have won it. We could have won it. Neither team could have complained. But he won't do it. He just won't do it, Leaving out a striker for the sake of ego. Yeah, look, I don't get it. I don't get why you wouldn't have either started with Scamacca or at least shown real attacking intent and remove the ability for people to fucking hammer you more, because you can't have a top striker like that sitting on the bench when you're 1-1 at home to Villa and you're in a relegation battle, like 1 or 2 points off the bottom. You just can't do it. But David Moyes can, because David Moyes knows best. Nick, where are we going wrong? Was it Moyes or the players today? Well, I think Moyes got it right at the start. I think he's... the way he set the team up, I think the team selection was fine. Like I said, the only change I would have made would have been Souček and Fornals, but that's by the by. He likes Souček, so he's going to get in. But it's the way that he set the team up was better today. We were pressing as a team. We were playing advanced. It was an attacking 4-2-3-1. So, yeah, today I think he set the team up right. Was his in-game management good? No, probably not, but it never is. I think he could have done more. He could have done way more than what he did. But I don't think he was playing for the point. I don't think he was. I think he would have seen Cornet for Ings, who was doing fuck all, as probably, an attacking sub. Yeah, I don't know. He could have done more. Of course he could have, If you got a striker on the bench, a good striker, you don't bring him on when you're chasing the goal. It's mad. Will Doyle, there were a few articles today just before the game that Moyes basically complaining about Scamacca not training well enough. Well, that's good of him, isn't it? David Moyes coming out and... throwing his player under the bus, what he likes to do, as justification for the fact that he's not picking him. Goes to show you why these players do not like him. Now, did you see the pre-match press conference with David Moyes. How much his fucking attitude stunk. Did ya? He looked so irritated in that. He didn't want to talk to him. They spoke briefly about Larnaca, and then they went on and they spoke about the Villa game in preparation for that. They mentioned the losses to Spurs and Burnley. He was clearly irritated. He's clearly an absolute arsehole of a man. You would not want to approach him. He looks unapproachable, the man. So, yeah, we just got to hope that we can put in performances like that until the end of the season. He ain't going anywhere. That point ain't getting him the sack. I'm not even so sure that a loss would have got him the sack today. He's going nowhere. They've said as much. So we've just got to hope that somehow a combination of David Moyes and those players can sort it out for us. That's what we need. That's what we need. Mick Anderson. What's wrong with people still backing Moyes? How long have they supported West Ham? Drives me nuts. I don't know that people are still backing him, are they? Who's genuinely backing him now? I don't see many of them. You get the odd one pop on here, but I don't see many. I don't see many of them. You get the odd one, and it's a combination of people that have been backing him for ages to the point where it's stubbornness now, and they almost want David Moyes to succeed so that they don't want to be wrong. But it's ain't about right and wrong. David Moyes he's proven for the last 14 months he's a duffer. I'm sorry. You know, he had a little period, a little purple patch that we all enjoyed. But then this is a return to normality with David Moyes. He slammed the brakes on himself last January. He slowed progress. We could have carried on going for it. You know, a more ambitious man would have. But no, not Moisey. Not Moisey. Right, my dog's going to go. As you can hear, he's barking. So I'm going to wrap this up before I blow your eardrums out. Henry, come here. Fucking nuisance. Thank you. So I'm going to wrap this up because he's going to lose his mind. And we'll be back later on for the Talk Hammers phone-in show. So probably around about 7 or 8 o'clock. So keep an eye out for that. And we'll see you all later. Don't forget to drop a like on the video. And if you're new around here, please subscribe. All right? Coming you on. Speak to you soon.